Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Sunday, the 3rd of April 2022. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to use the Art of Life Tarot for today's reading. Let's see what these cards have to say about Sunday. And I'm really interested to see whether the Emperor is going to come out as well today. He's been showing up a lot lately. So I'm just going to shuffle these a few times and then choose 3 cards to see what this day's energy is all about and how you can use it to your advantage. So let's have a look. First card has fallen out, the 5 of Swords. Okay. Let's see. The next card is the 4 of Cups. And finally, the 9 of Wands. Okay, no Emperor today. Right. So the 5 of Swords usually has to do with conflict. The 4 of Cups is about perspective and working to kind of keeping a constructive frame of mind going. And then the 9 of Wands is a card that says the worst is behind you and it's important to prioritize and to engage with those things that make you feel motivated and that inspire you. So let's see what these cards have to say, and I'm just going to line them up a bit here. Okay. So the 5 of Swords, this looks like Durdle Door to me. That's a place, I think in England, it's in Dorset, I think. It could be Devon. It's a place by the coast and it looks very much like this. And they have a little beach there. It's a beautiful place, and I think this hole in the actual cliff is created through the waves hitting it over and over again. So that's kind of a message in itself that if you keep pursuing something and if you keep working at it, sooner or later it's going to affect great change, but it's not this huge moment of realization or suddenly something happens. It's a gradual process of working towards something. Here, what does it say? Sometimes I go about pitying myself, and all the time I'm being carried on great winds across the sky. That reminds me of that Footsteps poem. So, universe or God, why? When I needed you most, did you abandon me? And I had to kind of walk by myself. And then the message is, sorry, I'm paraphrasing this badly, but the message is there's only one set of footprints because I was actually carrying you during that time. So this is very similar. It's this message that there's nothing really to pity yourself over because you always have support, and tough times are experienced by everybody. It's not only you. You're not the only person on the planet who experiences difficulties. I need to tattoo that on my body somewhere, I think. Okay. So usually the 5 of Swords is someone picking up other people's swords, and one person is in despair and someone else is crying, and the person who's kind of the victor as such smirks and looks at these people, and it's about conflict, not for the sake of really solving a problem or getting anywhere. It's just about, I'm going to bully other people to make myself feel better. So here they've kind of changed the message here. It's very much about perspective, again, same as the 4 of Cups. So that's interesting to me because this is a good day where things aren't overly difficult, but the thing that you may struggle with is your perception of what's going on, and there may be this tendency to feel sorry for yourself. But instead of lamenting everything that's negative or difficult, by being grateful and by realizing that actually you are being supported at all times, that's a very simple way of getting yourself out of this negative frame of mind. And also with the image here, it's about realizing that certain things take time. They don't just, you don't always get an immediate result, but it's confirmation that you are on the right track. And if you keep going, then sooner or later you will affect change. So the cards are kind of encouraging you to continue on and not to fall into the trap of of feeling bad or only seeing the negative in a situation. Then the Four of Cups, usually that's a young man sitting under a tree and he's got 3 cups in front of him and 1 cup is being handed to him by the universe. He's got a lot to be grateful for, but he's kind of sulking about the things that haven't worked out. And the message is that by tapping into this energy of gratitude, one, you can get up and actually keep moving. And second of all, it's important to look at things objectively, because I mentioned this in a reading the other day, but nothing is absolute. And on this day in particular, you've overcome something difficult. So it's factually not accurate to say, oh, isn't everything terrible? I'm just going to sit here and cry. It doesn't make sense, even if the feeling is there, or even if you feel that very strongly. So here with the Four of Cups, very different again. We've got this beautiful couple dancing here. And the message is, when the music changes, so should the dance. Okay, that's kind of the opposite meaning, because it says it makes sense to adapt based on circumstances. Oh, okay. So rather than feeling negative, look at the good stuff and let that inform you. And negative feelings aren't the be-all and end-all. There's a whole world outside of you as well that can influence the way you feel, and vice versa. You can tap into something positive and share the good vibes and enjoy the good stuff in life, rather than just feeling hard done by. 4 in numerology is about security and structure. So there is this ability to be emotionally resilient and to feel stable within yourself. And it's important to look at the good stuff in life. That's going to help you find this inner equilibrium. That's kind of interesting, because usually I talk about circumstances not defining you, and often not looking to the outside world to kind of give you a message on how you feel. That it's better to go within and to find the magic and the beauty within, and that then can change the way you operate and the way you see the world. But on this day, it works both ways. So if you are feeling a little bit blue, then the outside world is going to give you signs like this dirtle door thing here, that things actually are good. And it makes sense to look at both sides of the coin. And then by going internal, talking to yourself as such, or going within, that's also going to help lift you and allow you to graduate from any negative circumstances or perception of the world. And then finally, the 9 of Wands. Usually it's someone who's got a bandage on his head and he's looking back at 8 wands. He's picked one and he's overcome something super difficult, but he still feels kind of bruised. So the difficulty that you can leave behind today is a tendency to see everything as being super bleak. And by focusing on something that you love and enjoy, that allows you to look to the future and to prove to yourself that you can overcome difficult emotions within. You're not a victim to your own feelings. And again, I need to tattoo that on myself. I don't have any tattoos, but for some reason, I'm getting some good messages here about the way you can manage the self that I'd like to remember. Okay. So the 9 of Wands here says, in times of stress, be bold and valiant. Yeah, perfect. So look at the things that excite you and that maybe even feel a bit risky or daring. That's an easy way to overcome boredom. And it's a good way to change the focus on the negative to something that's actually super exciting and promises or seems to promise something good coming your way. It may feel a bit risky and you may have to kind of put on your courageous hat, but it will pay off and there's no need to be stuck or to waste the day feeling negative. So number-wise, we've got 5 and 4, that's 9, and another 9. 9 in numerology is spirituality and completion. So what that says to me is that there's an opportunity to grow as a person and to manage yourself more effectively, not just on this day, but moving forward in future. So just because you think it doesn't make it true. And 9 and 9 together is what, 18? Is it? Yeah. And that's another 9. So we got 3 9s, 999. So that's a really serious or a very strong message via the numbers, that if there are internal difficulties or if there are things that you struggle with, if the relationship with yourself is somewhat challenging at times and you're like, oh, why do I have to react this way, or why haven't I outgrown this yet? Which is negative in itself to treat yourself like that. But today you'll have patience and you will be able to leave something behind, especially something about yourself that you're not thrilled with, and to replace it with something positive. So instead of self-pity, you can tap into boldness and courage. And then once you've done it once, it becomes much easier to do it again and again and again. So anything that you overcome within yourself today for the first time will become easier in future. So that's super encouraging as well. Yeah. So I hope you have a great day, and I hope you learn lots of positive things about yourself and discover something amazing within yourself. If you'd like a personal reading, please get in touch with me via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on Book Your Reading to order your reading with me. In my personal readings, I use the tarot, astrology, and numerology, and I combine all three. And to draw up your birth chart, I need your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. If you don't know the time of birth, it's not the end of the world. I can use sunrise. But what makes it more accurate is if I rectify your chart. That's a process where you send me 10 or more life events, and I can actually work out the time of birth. Once I have that, I have a snapshot of the sky at the moment you were born, your natal chart, and that tells me so much about you: life purpose, strengths, weaknesses, travel, education, relationships, finances, vocational aptitudes. So if you have any questions at all, please do get in touch with me for a personal reading. I use the progress chart, the transits, and the tarot to see what's coming up in future, and the astrocartography to look at locations that work for you. Like, so for instance, for me in my natal chart, I was looking at this yesterday, New York is ruled by Venus for me. Venus is the planet of love and beauty. So New York is a place I should go visit. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, please. Hit subscribe and share the video online. Have an amazing day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.